I totally love the aspect of finding a product market fit. So usually my background is from the business side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are usually some creatives, engineers, industrial designer around me. And my job is usually to take the idea, to transform the idea and test it on the market in various ways. So it's just talking to potential customers
Mm-hmm.
the old-fashioned way, or also doing crowdfunding. So I actually love that point when products come alive,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's not like taking a first idea and selling it. It's more a process, having a product and customers, and then finding the sweet spot, how it works. That's actually my passion. Um, then like finding money to fund it. That's like two ways: either finding investors or finding the customers, depending on the product and the product idea. That's where I'm keen on.
I see. I see. So if I have to say one thing, what would be your expertise? One thing, please.
I would say product market fit
I see.
plus finance plus financing.
Financing. Okay. Analyzing if the product is fit for the market, for the time and the market and the area, geographical area or whatever, and then raising funds for that, crowdfunding or venture capitalists. What kind of finance?
It's usually angel money, or it's customers' money at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. Like if you have your market proof and you're scaling, then it's venture capital.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
with Gusta Garden, we first had to explain the story a bit. So we had a prototype which was different to the product we finally sold. We tested it with customers, with universities, and then went also to a fair to check the feedback of the buyers. The product changed a bit. Then we did crowdfunding. So we put it on Kickstarter, had a bit more than 100K turnover. With the turnover of the customers, we then were able to prove credibility to investors, and then had a business angel joining the company. So this was more or less the process over 9 months from having a product, finding buyers on the B2C side via crowdfunding and the fairs, plus then pulling in money from an angel, and also on the state funding side, then doubling the money via state credit lines. Um, this was the process of 9 months for at least from my perspective, a very easy product. But it's always a process, and with this example, you can see actually the different points um, I'm working on.
I see. Which kind of funding had been best for you, or easy for you, or beneficial for you, for the clients? I mean, I know this is not a one answer for every but generally, what's your preference?
Quite often, it's a mix. If you're able, selling the product is the best way. So
Hmm.
I totally believe that turnover is better than funding.
Customer
Um,
customer funding is the best.
um, I think selling the product is the best. And
Okay.
if you for me also Kickstarter is selling a product, right? So it's crowdfunding where you sell a product to a customer
Hmm.
is still a sales process.
Right.
Um,
But
cro-
once at the time you don't have a product and you're making the product, then you need funds to make that product. What about at that phase?
there like if I go on Kickstarter, I have a prototype at least, and then I build the product after the campaign. So that's something in between. If I have no product to show and only an idea, you would most probably go with an angel, and need to analyze your market and your scalability 100% to be sure that it's gonna work.
Hmm.
Um, In my cases, we usually have a prototype at least.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
So
you have a prototype. Angel investor is the best option, right?
if you're not able to sell in
Mm-hmm.
Austria,
Mm-hmm.
we have state funds. So there are different options where I can apply for state funding in an idea phase.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, then as a start, it's usually business angel money if you're not ready to sell. But of course, the valuation of the company and so on rises if you can already prove that somebody's buying it on the market.
Mm.
So I usually try to combine those topics.
Right, right. Uh, do you handle funding in certain countries, or anyone can approach you from any country? Is there a preference, or yeah?
Uh, it's a matter of which phase.
I mean, would you act like a consultant, or well, the initial phase, yeah,
Mhm.
when the
So
product is
when
being
it's
made.
initial, if you take Kickstarter as crowdfunding and the funding source, we sell all over the world
Mm-hmm.
to customers. So that's fine. If I talk in an early stage phase um, about angel funding, we usually have the guys around our area. So you meet in person, you discuss topics. I would say at the very initial phase, it's picking up the right guys. I believe there should be a personal connection, and you should see each other on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest way for us is to find the people in Austria, Germany, having conversations. But if there is a sweet spot of a guy living on the other side of the world, of course you can take it. But I believe you need to see each other several times and discuss to be on the same
Mm.
page. If the company is growing, I think money can come from everywhere.
Right, right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I usually analyze the benefit besides the money as well. So if somebody's joining, where are the synergies and how I can grow together. And this actually totally depends on the business.
Mm. The
So
the
in our
challenge.
in our
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
in our perspective, we are now talking to different guys in Europe. Like it's more hardware, not super high tech. If I would be a software company, maybe I would go earlier to the States um, with some artificial intelligence topics. It's maybe also Asia. So it really depends on the business. For us, it's fine. We started with an angel from Austria. We're now talking to guys from Italy, Germany to the Netherlands. So that's fine for us. Um, our business is focused mainly on the European Union, plus UK, a little bit US. So we are still fine on the markets, and we find our partners in the market where we are.
Okay. Did you mention that if it's a software a company, US is the better market than Austria? Is that what you meant?
Um, I, I I think if, for example, just talking, friends of us did a encoder machine for videos 10 years ago. So it's basically software business with IP. Their customers now, for example, Netflix or others. So their main business is in the States. So they had a first initial round here in Austria, but then moved pretty fast also to the States because there is the market. There's also more money for scaling software. They also needed more money. So their way was actually to go to California.
Hmm.
It wouldn't make sense for us. Our market is basically in the European Union. Also, our production line is here. Um, so it's it depends on the business.
Hmm.
Just my personal case with Garden is based in Europe so far. We need still to grow a little bit more in the European Union. And then our potential next steps would be joint ventures in the States or maybe also in Asia,
Mm.
because we have hardware, we have inventory. You need infrastructure also from marketplaces, APIs to bigger stores and so on. Maybe a second production line,
Mm.
because shipping is also expensive. So I think you need to check each case. What's the best setting?
Right, right. I,
Yeah.
I'm just building the base for the audience. So for the later sessions, this session will be very short, and then for the later sessions. So if someone is in US, he doesn't need to come to Austria, and that might not be even viable. First of all, there are more funding opportunities in US than Europe. I would want you to, if you agree or not. And second, the physical, problem that person is in another country and you cannot meet him. Let's suppose that will be also a hurdle in the financing. What would you say about
Um,
these two things?
there is more money in the US, of course. Um, Going to Austria is usually not necessary.
Yeah.
Um,
Or Europe, any
or
country of Europe. One, if you are in US, you don't need funding from Europe. Or if you are in UK, you don't need funding from Europe. You can get funding from the local country, I mean, the country.
I I would say in the first stage, it's pretty much always a yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
In the second phase, it could also be that
Mm.
US guys want to expand in Europe. There is venture money somewhere in Europe with also strategic partners and network. So they can help also building the markets. May they have the connections. So I wouldn't totally say that if at a certain stage may it make sense to have also a strategic partner or investors from Europe, even if you're from the States, just for market reasons as well.
I get it.
Um, yeah. But I personally think like the very first initial step, um, having an angel, um, you should be close to the angel, and you should
Mm.
also have the feeling that the angel can help you building the business.
Right. I never
As
seen remote angel. I mean, working like two people never met each other and then still financing happening. I never saw that. Did you?
um, well, during Corona, it happened,
Yeah, yeah. Corona was an
um,
exception.
but usually not.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. Hmm.
Because there's also the personal connection, right? At the very beginning, um, your business is not existing or is just starting. So yes, there's a product, but there are also the persons behind it.
Hmm.
And if you get money, you also get trust, and you need to build trust somehow.
Hmm. And meeting physically is a it's essential part of making big trust, I think.
I think so. Yes.
Okay, okay. Anything about business growth? Once suppose you have the funding, your product is being sold, you have sales. Any comments about business growth tactics? What to do, what not to do? Usually the mistakes, the usual problems and challenges and solutions.
Um, there's maybe one, two general topics, and then
Yes, Janu.
it's again depending on the product.
True.
So I see a lot of guys getting funding and not using the money the best way.
Mm-hmm.
So as a especially as a first time entrepreneur, right? You get money in, and the most important thing for a lot of guys then is they worked 12, 24 months, whatever, for free. They invested their money, and the biggest portion of the money goes out for salaries, also for the
Mm.
founders. You usually don't get millions from the beginning. It means maybe you get 100, 200, 300K. and if you need to pay 5 people and there is no progress on the business, money goes, right? So
Hmm.
I think if you get the money, of course you should pay yourself also to be capable to follow the business. But I think reaching business goals is more important than having your own salary. So
Yeah.
maybe maybe that's like one point. So I see that money is gone before the next steps are achieved. So this is a topic where I think you need to work on. On our end, we sell hardware basically, and there was the last years the discussion: is it like a real D2C business or is it a multi-channel business? So we actually have the experience that yes, you can try to be only a D2C brand. Um, in our case, the way of thinking multi-channel was actually the better one. So I get way more reach and also expressions and my brand out if I'm just working also with different resellers. In our case, it's DIY stores, it's garden center chains, it's specific online shops. Just one example. So if I want to sell a product, it costs me X euros. I need to
Yeah.
do advertising. Every email costs money. Or I can also, like as a second step, take a seed company who sells already seeds online. Um, they have 500,000 of subscribers that just put my product in their email list and saying, "Oh, here are tomato seeds. Here is a tom tomato. Do you
Hmm.
want to buy tom tomato?" And I have a conversion with zero costs. And there are 1,000, 5,000 people using my product. They're showing it to the neighbor, and then the neighbor also buys. So
Right.
I think getting the ball rolling is a topic for us. That's why I think there are different ways how to do that. In our case, selling a 40, 50 euro product and building up community also from spending and so on. We were lucky that we had some partners on the multi-channel angle as well.
Hmm. My second
Yeah.
last question. Any comments about on-site team and offshore team?
We are actually working in 3 offices.
Hmm.
Um, so our ongoing labor is split it into the creative team. So there's one office with creatives.
Actually, sorry to
And
interrupt you. I should rephrase my question. It's not. Let me ask again. What about offshore service provider versus your own team?
okay. Hmm.
Like where you have a vendor company providing you services.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, we have IT external
Hmm.
um, guys still in Austria, but not in our office. And we also partly work with growth guys, so performance marketing and so on, from Israel.
Hmm.
Um, we partly use services also from offshore guys, but very limited in our case.
Hmm. Which countries?
Um, Partly states,
Hmm.
uh, so service providers from US.
One of the major concerns I have seen that people say, okay, we if we hire individuals, we don't have risk. But if we hire a company providing 5 people, 10 people, and the company shuts down or disappears or something bad happens, we lose all the 5, 10 people. What would you say on that?
I may think that the risk if you hire a company is lower because um,
Okay.
could also be if you hire an individual guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the question if you hire him 100% or only a few hours. But also this single guy can change directions, right? So either he's funding his own company, maybe he's running out of time. Um,
Okay, but if you, let's say you hire 10 individual people, chances would be less that all of the 10 would change routes at the same time. But if you hire
True.
10 people via a service provider, if that one provider goes off, everybody goes off. What would you say about that?
Um, yes, I
Hmm.
see the logic behind the idea. Um, Still, you hire a company, but you maybe work with people hired by the company. If the company is gone, you maybe still have the contact to the person.
Hmm.
So if like we worked with the company now in Austria, um, company is going down, but there is still like one guy we worked with pretty closely. We still have the option to hire this guy then direct to our company. Um, so yes, a
Mm.
company can close down. The risk is lower if you hire them directly. But
Mm.
quite often finding the know-how you need just in one guy is sometimes tricky.
Okay, what if the company says, okay, we are selling you 10 people, but now we got a better client and he's paying us more, so we're just switching. What
Yeah,
what
bad luck.
Hmm. Not like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All good. Perfect. Many thanks. Appreciate your time.
The pleasure was mine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you. Oh, thank you.